All right. Hi, my name is Pete Alvarez. I'm principal at Rampart High School, and I just wanted to make myself available this evening to incoming parents. Last week we did our freshman, our RAM-tastic, and wanted to just follow up to see if any incoming families had questions or comments that they wanted to share in order to just get any information about our school and what will eventually be your school come August of 2021. Just a quick background on me. This is my 11th year as principal of Rampart High School. It's been an absolute professional pleasure to have been principal of Rampart for that long, and what I hope is many years to come. We're coming out of what, of course, has been one of the most challenging times in education, but I really do feel as if good times are ahead and the future looks bright. And we can come together in August and resume some of the things that makes Rampart an incredibly special place. So with that, what I would like to do is just to make this time available to you and the group here to see what kind of questions you might have about Rampart.
One thing we can talk about a little bit is just letting parents know where to find information. We do have a lot of our links from the Freshmen are RAM-tastic on the Rampart homepage. So I'm going to just type that into the Q&A because that is a great website just to kind of explore our school and to see some information. Our first question, Mr. Alvarez, is there differentiation in instruction for freshmen, i.e. is there honors English versus regular English?
So our differentiation happens in the classroom. At our school, our philosophy is that as freshmen come in, we meet all freshmen in the freshman English class, for example, and deliver a curriculum that puts them on a pathway to success in that ninth grade English class. We do not have an honors program. All students in the ninth grade are in our MYP program and are part of our MYP community as a continuum from Mountain Ridge. But if you are a student who is choicing in from another district, it does allow you to enter into our MYP program and be a part of that. Some of the other differentiation that does happen is in our math classes as well. One of the things that we've started this year is a double blocked algebra geometry class so that students who come in taking algebra or who are slated to take algebra coming in from the 8th grade are allowed to get through both algebra and geometry in the freshman year, which puts them on a pathway to be in Algebra 2 their sophomore year. And so that's extremely beneficial differentiation piece that we've started this last year. But all of our differentiation in the ninth grade occurs within the classroom that the students are in.
And feel free to put in a follow-up question if that didn't fully answer what you were looking for. The next question is, what is AVID at Rampart?
Our AVID program is advancement via individual determination. It's an elective course that students generally take for 4 years. It's a focus on getting students prepared for college and allows students to enter into a cadre of kids where they learn generally in the freshman year everything from note-taking, study skills, developing an educational plan. And so that is something that is a program that we send invitations for. But if you didn't get that invitation to be a part of our AVID program this year, it will allow you to still join that program. Bree Brubaker is the coordinator of that AVID program that we have. And it's been at Rampart for right around 12 years now, and has been something that has been extremely successful for students who have joined it. In the later years, in sophomore, junior, and senior year, students will do college visits. They will do college essay writing. They will have access in the freshman year also to tutors when we're back to live in-person learning next year. We have some UCCS tutors who join us during Avid class to help students continue to be successful.
All right, so I do have another question for you. How many other electives can you take if you take band? And how many can you take if you don't take band?
Generally, so the freshman program will consist of math, science, English, and social studies, of course. Those will be 4 of your classes. You also then take a health and a PE class that will take up another 1 of your 8 blocks. Students also in the freshman year generally take a study hall, and then depending on if they take a language, they will have an additional 1 or 2 electives that they're able to access.
Could you talk a little bit about our band program?
Yeah, our band program is absolutely incredible, and for those of you who are currently in band, I would definitely reach out to Mr. Akuncius and Mr. Hinkle, who are our current band directors. And they have really begun to try and reach out to some of the 8th grade students and are looking for opportunities to begin inviting some of the 8th grade band students up to Rampart in an attempt to get them ready for next year. Historically, our bands have been competitive both on the performance level and the competition level. We've had students who have gone on to earn scholarships in the band program and have been able to really kind of forge their way through college on band scholarships for our students who are our highest performers. In addition to that, it's really a program that's developed a very familial cadre of students who really help and support each other in time. They really develop some real bonds, because of the amount of time they spend together and also the community that they develop. In addition to that, some of our band parents are some of our most involved and supportive parents in our community. And so they have really helped bolster the sense of community we have at Rampart through band. And I don't mean to put her on the spot, but I do know Miss McFarland is a band parent who has been a part of the program with her son over the years. And I just want to check and see if there's anything she would like to add to that.
Yeah, band is fantastic. You have so many opportunities to show leadership and to learn great leadership skills. My son is the, sorry, that's my other son. My older son is the drum captain, not the drum major, but the section leader for the percussion section. And it's been just great to see the skills that he has brought on. And our program is just full of kids who are go-getters. Our teachers are so knowledgeable and so helpful, and they push our kids to be their best and give you tons of opportunities to join those honor bands. And we have so many kids that end up making the honor bands, and we're always really proud of them.
Okay, and one question specifically to band is we missed the band info night yesterday. We can reach out to the band director if the question is too specific for this evening's event. What is the process for auditioning for jazz band for an incoming freshman? And Andrea, I don't know if you know the answer to that, but we did put the Keith Akuncius's email in the response as well.
The process has changed a little bit due to, I hate saying the word, but COVID. And it used to be you auditioned in person. You had a piece of music that you auditioned with. We have a a regular jazz band and an advanced jazz band. So if you're interested in being in jazz band, you just get to audition and you get placed in the level that's most appropriate for you. I know that most of the time the lower level students, and I don't mean talent wise, I mean like grade wise, the freshmen and sophomores tend to end up in the jazz band 1, that first initial jazz band, and the juniors and seniors end up in the advanced because they've had the 2 years already of the regular level jazz band. And when I say regular, I don't want to say remedial because they're phenomenal, right? They're so great. And our advanced jazz band, it takes it just that much further. I get chills when I hear them listen. I walk down the halls and go, oh my gosh, I just got drawn to that class because I'm hearing such beautiful music. So yeah, you do have an audition process. I think this past year, what they did was record their auditions and submitted them to the directors that way. And then the directors put them in the appropriate place. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you. Mr. Alvarez, this question is about AP classes. When is the earliest that students could join an AP course?
Students generally begin to join AP courses in their sophomore year. We do have some students who join AP courses in their freshman year, but that is usually done in coordination between the counselor, the teacher, and the tag coordinator. But that is an option for some students in a few of the classes that we do offer. It's generally not offered in English or math, because math has its own trajectory based on where you're entering at and what math level you're entering at, nor in world language. So generally, a few freshmen over the years have engaged in some AP classes, but it's something that really begins in sophomore year, where students have a variety of advanced placement classes to engage in, from psychology to AP Euro, where students are able to do our advanced placement work. This year we'll be delivering close to 700 advanced placement tests to our 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. So our AP program is very strong, in addition to students who undertake diploma, and they're able to take some AP classes before entering diploma to prepare for that in the 11th and 12th grade.
So the next one is, our son took Spanish 2 this year at Mountain Ridge. Does that count toward his 2-year language requirement, and does that count toward his incoming GPA?
No, it does not. In District 20, middle school classes do not carry on to the high school transcript. What it would do is it would put him in a place to take a higher level of Spanish, depending on where his Spanish teacher would place them. But classes taken at the middle school do not carry on to the high school transcript.
Then if a student at Rampart wants to take a class from another high school in D20, will Rampart allow that? And then how does that work?
Yes, we do have students that access a variety of different campuses in the freshman year. Primarily Liberty is a place where some of our students go to engage in some of the CTE offerings. And then the other place where students access another campus would be our JROTC program that happens at Air Academy. And the way they would do that is working with their freshman counselor, who's going to be either Mrs. Courtney Lawson or Mrs. Bratt, who works with some of our 504 students, and they can kind of direct how that process works to be able to access another campus.
And then our next question is, what are weighted grades?
At Rampart, grades are weighted at the DP and the advanced placement level. And what weighted grades essentially are for those classes where there's a nationally normed test in our building. And we have nationally normed tests through advanced placement, and both national and internationally normed tests in our diploma program, where students are undertaking a college level curriculum. Another place where weighted grades are earned has to do with our UCCS Gold. And we have a few of those classes, primarily our pre-calculus class and our calculus classes would be weighted. It goes into your GPA. And when we look at weighted grades and GPA and college admissions, it gets a little bit tricky because most colleges actually unweight grades when they're looking at enrollments of students. It varies by college to college, but primarily colleges will look at course of study, scores on nationally normed examination, and also the ability to score on those exams at a certain level in order to earn college credit. Perfect. You know, as we just kind of, if there's no more questions, we can start winding up. But one of the things that I do want to say is, you know, Rampart is an extremely special place, and one of the things that we really look at as what sets us aside, you know, amongst a lot of good offerings, not only in District 20, but also in the Colorado Springs area, is that we offer a wide variety of program that allows students to kind of find their road that they want to follow. In addition to that, I'm always amazed by how kind our students are to one another and how they really take care of each other in a very communal sense that's really built with a lot of love, kindness, and compassion. And it's one of the things that I'm most proud about being principal of Rampart, is our students and how they interact, and how much they care for one another. And I have no doubt that when your freshmen get here next year, that it won't be a matter of you know, them feeling stress or pressure from upperclassmen, because it's something that you know, generally doesn't happen, and when it does happen, we deal with it, you know, on a basis that it doesn't happen again. So this will be our 11th year as a No Place for Hate school, and it's something that we're also extremely proud about. The fact that you know, we recognize that we're not only trying to academically service our students, but also from a social emotional standpoint, get them to a place where they can interact with a wide variety of diverse students who are their peers, and develop a community that's really based on trying to bring everyone up to the highest level they can.
Mr. Alvarez, we do have another question about the clubs at Rampart. What clubs does Rampart offer? Primarily competitive clubs like Destination Imagination or Speech and Debate.
We do have a forensics club. Clubs this year have definitely been a challenge, but I have no doubt that they'll be back next year. We've done Science Olympiad, Knowledge Bowl, forensics in terms of competitive clubs. We also have a thespian club that's attached to our theater program. Can you guys think of any other competitive ones? We have a wide variety of clubs that run the spectrum between you know, academic interests to social interests to you know, nationally recognized clubs like our NHS group. I know that every year we have a group of kids that have traveled, obviously not this last year, but have traveled to Washington in the past to compete in academic clubs. So there's we generally do a club fair at the start of the year, particularly for freshmen who have interest in being a part of one of the clubs, and that they can join during our club fair early on in the year. We have the Spanish National Honor Society. It's a pretty wide list of organizations, both recognized on a national level and then also just on a local level, that are able to service needs of students.
And
we do, I left out, Carol or Andrea?
Yeah, I can think of a couple. We do have KRAM, which is an amazing group of students, and we have an amazing teacher for that, which is producing videos and producing, sports broadcasting, and they've won many awards. And that teacher is phenomenal. And then there's FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America, and we often send students to state and national levels on that one. And then I was also thinking about DECA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and don't forget the Library Innovation Center has a great makerspace. We've got 3D printers and lots of robots and fun things going on. So be sure to come and check out our library as soon as we can be a great social hub again.
We're looking forward to that. Mr. Alvarez, just so you know, we got some more questions coming up, so don't hang up your hat yet. So we have another question. Do the rising 8th graders normally have a chance to visit Rampart before the next school year? And will those opportunities be available this year?
So yes, normally we have an orientation day before the start of school where it's a freshman only day. And I'm really hopeful that that's going to be able to take place this year so that we can get students orientated to the building. Also in the past, our Freshmen Are Fantastic, which happened last week, virtually would have been in person and students would have been in the building. But the opportunity that I'm really looking forward to is August, when hopefully we can have a lot of the in-person restrictions that are currently in place lifted to get students in building, get them orientated to the facility and the people that they're going to be working with for the next 4 years come August. And so we're trying to work up some of those plans as we look towards the future. But yes, hopefully definitely having kids in building before they're there with the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders.
Just looking, hold on one moment. Is there a possibility to take chemistry in the freshman year?
Our science really starts with biology, and then there's the opportunity to take chem in the sophomore year prior to taking either physics, environmental science, or depending on if you take the AP or the DP route, a variety of advanced placement sciences or diploma sciences. But when we look at our freshman program and the start with biology, one of the reasons why we start there is that it is pretty standard through the district to start with biology, but also for us, it allows us to make sure that in the freshman year, students are taking a lab-based science, which is one of the things that colleges and universities will look for when they're looking over transcripts. And biological science is definitely one of the most common ones that colleges and universities will want to be on a student's transcript.
We have a student about choicing in, or a question about choicing in. If our son is choicing in from another out of district, we won't know until he got in until April. Will he still have decent course selection options?
Absolutely. That's one of the most common questions we get across the board is that, if I choice into Rampart from somewhere else, will I still have access to classes? And we build our master schedule and we build our classes based on student choice and student need. And so there's not going to be a problem that when the choice window closes in March, I generally take every student unless there's been some type of major program piece that we can't offer that student. And so they will get in on that first choice window for sure. Unless it's a district decision that we don't offer a program that they need. And then we will build their schedule around that.
Wonderful. And then another question related to the clubs. Are all clubs offered to all grade levels?
Some clubs are attached to a class, like for instance, DECA and FBLA are class driven. But for the most part, our clubs are open to all students, especially the clubs that are some of our social emotional clubs or interest clubs. And then there is a few clubs though that are attached to classwork as well as outside of school club activities like DECA, FBLA, KRAM be the ones that come to mind for me off the top of my head that are attached to a course curriculum within the building.
Wonderful. One question, is it possible to take PE over the summer?
Yes, we do have some students who do take PE over the summer to free up a block in the schedule. Prior to doing that, though, it would be really important to have some conversation with counselors because we have in the past had students who have come in who have tried to take courses, but courses that weren't recognized by District 20, for example. And so there is some restrictions on outside credit, but we have had that be something that's occurred in the past.
Another question that came up is, what is DECA?
DECA is a club that is a marketing group that competes, that they generally put together business models.
Do all sports have tryouts?
No. There's some sports, like for instance cross country, that does not have a tryout process. Football is open. Generally, what happens in what happens in some of the sports that have smaller rosters is that there is tryouts. So for things like volleyball, for instance, or basketball, there is some limited roster space that there is tryouts for. But we do have several sports where there's not a tryout to participate.
Wonderful. All right, I think we can start wrapping up. If you want to say a few words.
No, just first off, apologize for some of the technical difficulties we had and the second room link that was out there. I hope everybody made it in. But please, if you didn't get your question answered, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. One of the things that I really want to make sure of in this time is that we haven't been able to go through some of our normal processes to get to know each other. In most years, I would have done this meeting at Mountain Ridge, with Jeff by my side, who I know Jeff is in the room here somewhere. But I it's something that is part of our partnership, to do this together and to really have a certain amount of care as we move our students from Mountain Ridge to Rampart High School in a manner that is communal and that does make that transition to high school something that is special. One of the things that I do want to say to parents in the room is that when you get your student to high school, it's definitely a time to increase your engagement, not decrease your engagement in their lives. I think that it's something that the transition between 8th and 9th grade is the most important educational transition that happens for an adolescent. Their success, if they're successful at the end of their 8th grade year and the start of their freshman year, it's going to be really hard for them not to be successful because they will figure out that formula. And that's why we put a lot of emphasis on our 9th grade program and ensuring that kids not only have the academic tools, but the social emotional tools to navigate, really difficult times and really challenging things that they'll have not just in high school, but throughout their lives, and how to overcome some of that adversity that they come across in time. And so, I really just want to make sure that we do everything possible to make that transition comfortable, but also to empower you with knowledge around, what is offered at Rampart, and also, what tools you have at your disposal to be able to effectively academically interact with your students once they get here. I think that if this time has taught us anything, is that teaching is hard, and teaching students is hard. And parents have been more of a partner in that process this year than ever before. And so we're looking forward to having the ability to be with your students next year in person, and engage them in a high school education that can lead them on the pathway they want when they graduate. So looking forward to it. Again, apologize for the technical difficulties. I think Andrea will be posting this on our website so that anyone who wasn't here or wasn't able to get on can hear some of the answers and responses. But I'm hopeful, and I talked to Jeff today about this a little bit. Once I get my second vaccine and am clear after spring break, plan on spending some time around Mountain Ridge to get to know your students, so that they feel comfortable having an adult face in the building for next year, so that they have a good transition. All right. Carol, Andrea, thank you guys as always. If there's no other questions.
The only other thing someone was they just mentioned soccer, and that might be a follow-up to does soccer need tryouts?
Soccer does do tryouts, but we do have several teams, and so there is some good opportunities to be a part of that team. But yes, soccer does have tryouts.
All right, awesome. I think that is everything. So I think we are all set.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Carol.